must say, I feel very much home in India already after 5 months in Haryana, state of Haryana, where our Jindal Global Law School is situated. And I want to invite everyone to come and visit. We have a beautiful campus, very green and very environmental, and it is really a big pleasure and honor to work what Naveen Jindal started only 5 years ago. We have LLB, LLM programs. We have over 1,000 students already for such a short time. That has been a tremendous achievement in India. But I must also say I'm aware of India. I've done a lot of research and books, and many of those had also been focused on Indian history and Indian contribution to the development of humanitarian law and international human rights law. One of the first book projects which I did in the United Nations University was called World Religions and Norms of War, which look at how various religious traditions developed the normativity of war, what is justified and what is not justified in time of warfare. And in fact, Hinduism was our strong port of departure, because this is the oldest religious traditions that in fact addresses the normativity of war. The famous Mahabharata and the dialogue of the 5 brothers discussing before going to war what is permitted and what is prohibited in war was really inspirational to think about later how other religions such as Christianity and Islam that came very much later than Hinduism and Buddhism. So India is really the motherhood of the 4 major world religions, and we address that in our book. So India has been always inspirational also in terms of the biggest democracy in the world. It's the population of 1.3 billion, and developing such traditions as representation and participation. Another book project that I did was called Democracy in the South, which looked at 9 case studies of countries in the South, 3 in Africa, 3 in Latin America, and 3 in Asia, India among those, that had very early, again, human rights didn't start with the French Revolution and American Constitution. They belong to millennium of history. The same with democracy. It didn't start with the French Revolution. Democracy has been in many places in the world much earlier. Even in the primitive society, there was some representation of human voice in government, and those we collected in a book called Democracy in the South. 1766, before Jesus Christ, this is almost 3.5 millenniums ago, already developed the notion of criminal justice, that accusations should be substantiated before they go to the judge. And again, this was very long time ago in Babylon, in Mesopotamia, today the territory of Iran and Iraq. So we see so many history before we come to the modernity of the human rights. And that's why I usually say that human rights are universal, not only that they become written in a declaration in 1948, because they are also universal in their origin, where they started. And they started everywhere. That's why I was critical when I hear that human rights are Western concept. They are not Western. They belong to Afghanistan, India, and Iran, and Iraq, and China, and everywhere. Much before the West became dominant power in only the 18th and 19th century, when the Western domination of the globe is already there. Human rights belong to every village, to every community, and that's what makes them universal. Probably the West plagiarized human rights. They took it from everywhere else to put it in their own constitutions, which is still an achievement. I don't diminish the importance of the Enlightenment and the famous French philosophers such as Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Voltaire, and also the English political philosophy, that developed the idea of human rights, such as Thomas Paine.